Men's Minute Modcast with his mates, Mo and Satya. Episode 181.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Min's Mates Modcast. Hey, Mo and Satya.
Hey there.
Now we're going to crack on straight away with the news that Egypt lost its internet. Mo, tell us more.
So I think it was yesterday, started or the day before. The technology world, it's going crazy, and I think we need to be a little bit more resilient on how we set up it's not always like software, it's the hardware and the physical side of things as well. So one of the main buildings I think it was in Cairo, and basically they had a fire happen, and I think 1/3 of people lost internet. Like, we're talking about banks not working, banks not working, phone cell not working, internet not working, so all access was down. But they were able to recover it within 24 hours or so. The response wasn't bad, but they have invested everything to this one building, right? And it shows like a lot of the, let's say, second or third world countries still need a lot of help in those infrastructure setups, and you shouldn't put all your bets on one thing.
Wow. This is the world we live in. You remind me of a story many years ago when I was in the corporate world, and one of my clients told me they had this issue which recurred on a regular basis, where it was a really massive organization, and they would have the servers run these management reports as to how the company had done in the last 24 hours, how well each of their retail branches had done, whether on target, what was doing well. And they noticed there was this pattern of the report would fail to run, and then obviously they don't have the decisions as to what to do next. So they kind of did an investigation to say, well, what's going on here? And they, even to the extent of, they set up some cameras and they put some stuff on the servers to kind of find out what's going on. Is it to do with load balancing, electricity, etc.? And it turned out that, and they noticed that it always happened around, there was a sort of a jolt going on around sort of 6:30, 7 o'clock, every couple of days. Turns out it was the cleaner, and in order to plug in a Hoover, she'd pull out the plug next, because there was only this one plug there, and that was the one for the server. That was the machine that was running this report on some desktop. It wasn't even it hosted in some central place or whatever, but they didn't realize that was the thing that was running one of the main reports that the business relied on. So yeah, there we go.
That's crazy. I'll just add a few things as well. I forgot to say. So I have a few people living in Egypt that I know. So while they lost internet, you couldn't use your GPS even. So there was a person that I know got stuck in their car and they didn't know the way home. So our reliance on technology is a question that I always have, is that if the internet goes down, and which, I don't know, even in the UK, there's always some warnings on you should always have some cash or some things prepared just in case, right? For cyber attacks or anything like that happening as well. If the internet goes down, can you still navigate a normal human life? And I think majority of people would maybe say no.
I want to ask one question, is how many of us remember the phone numbers of our family members and friends? I think our RAM is completely cleared off of the phone numbers, and we have to go back to the diary and keep that all the time with us.
What's funny is I still remember the landline numbers of my nearest and dearest.
Yeah.
But even Mrs. Min's now, I remember half of it, and then I'm no idea, because obviously it's just a button away, right? So apart from my mom, because she has literally memorized all the numbers, so she hasn't worked out how to do contacts and then picking someone from the contacts. So every single person, she just dials the actual number.
We should get those passport holders that we put all the important information or something, or a backpack bags,
Imagine the backpack is gone, then it's again the Egypt case, right? We have to have different type in different places. So we get it.
But just expanding to what happened in Egypt, and obviously they lost the internet, but on this podcast we talk about AI. I mean, who gets the shivers if we can't access an AI for more than a couple of hours to help us with a task to do some research, and it's kind of the next level. First, it was my mobile phone, my GPS signal because I can't navigate anywhere anymore, and maybe it's going to be, and then with agents, it's like, oh, I can't access my agent. They know what's going on. They know what emails
Yeah.
to reply to, and we're kind of outsourcing ourselves to something where we have no control, which is pretty scary. And it's happening really quickly, right?
Yes. I think right now, most of us are not using it for very critical work. But I can imagine one day, let's say, surgeons or doctors really relying on AI to do some operations. And imagine there is no internet, there's no access to it. That would be, I think, a discussion. And I can completely imagine a scenario because most of us would not be prepared for it. Like, it's still a black swan kind of a event. We do not know when and where it would happen. But our increased reliability, I think we should also think about what if it is not existing? What if AI suddenly stops or it's beyond their expiry date?